let's do the monsters of the week. Here we go.
Well, this week, going through American Monsters Compendium, I have ManBat and Bat Squatch.
ManBat, not Batman. ManBat.
I think they made the distinction, so we wouldn't consider Batman, but a ManBat. Kind of not like a baby clown, but a clown baby.
Oh, I get it now.
Now, the first instance here, the first case I'll cover is from La Crosse, Wisconsin, and I looked it up. La Crosse is it's across the state from Holy Hill where the Goatman sightings were, so there's really no connection there.
Are you being facetious?
No, there's not. I mean, it's all the way across Wisconsin.
Okay.
So there's no real connection with the Goatman.
Okay.
So the first case goes off in 2006. A father and son were driving home from a music rehearsal at night around 9 p.m. And they just passed a local gun range, which was not too far from where they lived, when something large came out of the woods towards their car. They could see kind of like a black shadow coming across the road. And as it was about to make impact, it suddenly took off and swooped up over their truck. And from what they could see, they said it had a torso that was roughly bat-like, had like a rib cage, had kind of stumpy legs, was very long arms and hands, and the feet also had claws on them. Had a canine-like face with fangs and pointed ears, kind of like that.
That's not too dissimilar from the description that we've seen and heard of from the Goatman and what people have seen in Missing 411 cases.
Right, but this, I guess the distinctive thing in this is that this thing flew.
Oh, okay. It flew. Okay.
It didn't jump over the car, it kind of like took flight and flew over it.
Okay.
And as it flew off, it made a very loud screeching sound as it flew. As it flew off, it made a very large, not large, but very loud sound, very high pitched. It made the driver and son physically ill. When they got back to their house, the son had puked many times, and the father was sick all night long with nausea.
Well, the description is not. I'm sorry to interrupt again.
But that's fine. I mean, we're good. There's like two of us, so we can have a.
I guess you're right. We can have a conversation. It's not dissimilar from the Mothman and sightings that were taking place in, I think, the late 60s and 70s in West Virginia.
Yeah, down there, I think right where good old Jeff Martin was from, right around, where's he from?
He's from Parkersburg, but down there in the holler where Tough Redman's from.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good old T. Redman.
Yeah. Mothman, Mothman is the name of a cryptid speculated to exist after several reports of an unidentified creature seen in Point Pleasant area of West Virginia from November 1966 to 1967. The first newspaper report was published in the Point Pleasant Register, dated back in November of 1966. The couples see man-sized bird creature something, and the being subsequently entered regional folklore. So a flying creature the size of a man, if not larger.
I just looked it up on Google Maps. Point Pleasant is actually much more south of Parkersburg. It's actually in Henderson, Kentucky, where our oldest brother used to live for a few years.
How close is that to where the Kentucky Goblins might live?
They're more south by Louisville.
Okay. This is just asking. Please continue with ManBat.
But ManBat.
Yes.
So, but yeah, going upon that, but it is possible that certain wavelengths of sound are known they can make humans physically ill, so this is completely plausible. Now, others in the community...
So wait, this thing let out a giant shriek, a loud sound, and what did that sound, how did that physically impact those two people in the car?
It made both of them were nauseous, and the son was puking a lot, and the father was ill all night.
And they just weren't drinking a lot? They were at band practice?
And it was for a musical. It was not band practice.
Oh, okay. They weren't like in like a Def Leppard cover band or anything like that.
They weren't in a Van Halen cover band where prerequisites to drink a 12-pack of beer and blow some coke.
Yeah.
No, that was not the case. Okay. So other people in the community had similar experiences, but this was on French Island, which is a few miles south of their location in La Crosse, Wisconsin. So in 2005, a guy in the book said his name was Bill. I guess it's just an assumed name for the book that want to come out with his real name. He started to hear something on the roof at night, and there were stories at this time of pets disappearing in the neighborhood. These stories started circulating around his neighborhood in the local area, and he himself had lost 2 animals recently. In the book, didn't specify whether they were pets or actual livestock or things like that.
Well, if you remember, the goat man's job, according to his tax forms, was to terrorize the neighborhood and abduct small animals.
Correct, and decapitate dogs and pets.
I'm being facetious when I say tax forms, but it did say that he would terrorize neighborhoods and
kill pets.
So that's not that dissimilar.
Right. And this guy, Bill, his neighbor, this all comes back together, but his neighbor had a sighting, you could say. He went out for a smoke on his deck one night and saw a dark figure. It swooped into a tree in his backyard. It made a lot of noise and apparently weighed a lot because it weighed down this branch and made the tree shake a lot. A lot more than any nocturnal animal like a raccoon or an owl could ever do, or a possum. And he went to go investigate it. He saw this shadowy figure. It jumped from the tree onto his garage and crawled across his garage and flew off into the darkness. He said he did not get a good look, but he said had a pretty large frame, and it gave him a feeling of, it was a very disturbing feeling that he got from looking at this creature.
There are so many different types of these cryptids, ranging from Bigfoot to Goatman to ManBat to the Mothman. If someone sees something strange, they I saw a Bigfoot, but in actuality, it could have been something more like Goatman or ManBat, something that flew. You just attribute the Bigfoot thing to anything kind of hairy, large, and upright. There could be, according to these stories, these folklores, these legends, multiple different types of cryptoids and cryptids out there, and they might fly around. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but there certainly hasn't been any good photographic evidence of this shit.
No, not that I could look up online for, at least for the ManBat bat squatch.
Yeah. Do you have anything else?
Back to Bill. Oh no, I've got plenty more. Plenty more for the bats. So going back to Bill, that was just about his neighbor seeing this thing fly off. Bill, he heard about the shaking tree phenomenon in his neighborhood. He wanted to see what was going to happen. He started waiting out at night to see what was going on. Motion sensor lights in people's yards went off for no apparent reason as he was watching out in his backyard. Excuse me. Now, he started to notice unexplainable lights in the sky that would shoot off in one direction or another that were too fast to be a plane or a helicopter. And then on one night, he witnessed a creature about 5 feet tall slink out from a tree onto his children's swing set. He said it moved very stealthily and resembled in movement. He said, this is a quote because it's from, I believe, 2005 or 6. He said it resembled Gollum from Lord of the Rings in the way it moved on all fours and how stealthily it moved. He said it was very dark and it was hard to make out details. He tried to go out for a better look. He said the creature looked right up at him, and then it moved away quickly into the darkness. He said it made him feel very uneasy, as if he was not supposed to be witnessing this creature.
So I'm going to send you a video. We talked about this years ago. This is from the Fresno alien nightcrawler stick figure surveillance video that circulated. And it's pretty clear in this video that there's something crazy going on in this video. I don't know if it's digital distortion or if there's some kind of loop over going on with this that would impact the video quality and possibly ghost imagery. Like if they kept recording over the same tape over and over again, if it produced that.
Yeah.
But these stick creatures are not like so far-fetched to not be mistaken for what we're talking about in some of these cryptozoology stories. Tall, gangly, weird-looking creatures. And I can post this. I mean, it's just a creepy video that I'm looking at. And some people have attributed this is an alien, or this could be a night crawler or a night walker. that on the West Coast, there's legends of a night crawler that where if you look at him, you'll die. So if you see him walking around, you must avert your eyes. These also have been claimed to be any number of spirits or skinwalkers or anything like that. But the video's creepy, and I'm bringing this up because it kind of relates to the overall myth of these cryptoids. There's a common theme about these things. There's only minor variations, whether or not they fly or if they have malicious intent or not. Very kind of few things are different with these cryptoids. We haven't encountered anything absurdly small recently. We've only talked about things that are kind of big and gangly. We haven't talked about a fat Bigfoot. I haven't heard anything described as morbidly obese and moving slow. These are all kind of gangly things that move fast and if not fly.
All right, I'm pulling. I've seen this video before of this, or if they call it the Walker, the Nightcrawler.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think it's an interesting video. I don't know if it's been disproven, if there's a hoax or whatever, but that's cool.
The Sci-Fi used to have a show on it called Fact or Faked. It was actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You just recreate this stuff, and I believe they couldn't reliably recreate it, but it was also pretty grainy, and they thought it might have been an artifact on a taped-over security camera.
Yes. Which does happen.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Let's go back. That was just Wisconsin. I have Tacoma, Washington to finish up with.
Yeah, let's hear about Tacoma.
And this is where it gets good. It's pretty good.
Okay, let's move on over. Hold on, let me move on over to Tacoma. Here we go. Bam.
This is where the nights and the lights that I mentioned, the other in Wisconsin, become a little bit more important. At least the connection that I made.
Okay.
So this is in Tacoma, Washington. This incident took place in April 1994. There was a 19-year-old. He was driving home in his truck around 10 p.m. at night, and he was on a mountain back road up in the mountains. I think it would be east of Tacoma. And as he was driving home, his truck's engine suddenly decided to stall and turn off. So after he was screwing around with his engine, trying to get it back on, trying to fit all the keys and whatnot, and decide what was wrong with his car, he noticed about 30 feet down the road a large shape emerged from the darkness. Now, he said the creature that came out of this darkness stood there, and it just stared at him like he was just resting. Like it came out of the darkness to stand there and rest. And he said he didn't feel threatened by it, but felt like he felt like he was out of place looking at it. Kind of felt like he shouldn't be seeing it. Said it was as tall as a person, wolf-like head with teeth, but no fangs, yellow eyes, fur that appeared blue in his headlights. But the author noted that could have been distortion because of the his headlights shining onto it. Said after a few minutes of this encounter, the creature looked away and flew off towards Mount Rainier. He noted the wings were at least as wide as the road. I guess it'd be both lanes.
Okay, so let's think about that. A car is about 6-7 feet wide. So road, let's just go ahead and say it's 20 feet.
Yeah, 15 to 20 feet wide, something like that.
Probably, I'm going to guess maybe 25 feet wide for a road.
Yeah, it had a berm. Yeah, this is a back road, so maybe, 20 feet probably.
What about the gutter? You ever walk the gutter?
Just walking the gutter.
Walking the gutter.
So that monster was doing just walking the gutter.
Strutting that ass. All right. We'll give it a 20, 25-foot wingspan.
And he said as it flew off, he said the wind the wings generated were so powerful it shook his car, caused dust to fly up. And as this creature left, he said after about 30 seconds to a minute and went out of sight, his engine started to work again. Now, that really ties into pretty much every freaking UFO encounter I've ever read about in the car.
Exactly. There's been multiple UFO accounts where it gets close to a car, shuts down. And
this happened not even the cars. This happened to missile silos in the United States, where people almost went to different DEFCONs because of it, because it was an unknown object shutting down power.
So, I mean, you have to make that leap in logic there, that if these cryptids can impact electronic devices, and so can these UFOs. They have to be probably linked in some way. I
could definitely make that leap for sure.
Could we also make a link or a hypothesis that some of these creatures are genetic experiments? If they are real, are they genetic experiments? I think
it could be.
I think that might be more likely than them being a process of evolution.
Even if it could be something like a genetic experiments with kind of like, I guess, with the X-Files, you could say a gene splicing with extraterrestrial and Earth life.
Well, let's make some assumptions here. Let's go ahead and assume that there are aliens and that they have been abducting people and taking their DNA. What are they doing with this DNA? Are they using it to preserve and make themselves better, or are they trying to create new creatures with it? If we look at what we do as humans, we try to use our technology to, one, lengthen lifespan, and we also try to create new shit with it. Stuff that's never been seen before. That's just what we do. It's called innovation. So are these creatures, these cryptids, some kind of biological innovation that have been created, put down here in some kind of zoological experiment, and sit there, run wild, and they track them in some way, but yet they have the same ability to shut down electrical devices. They have some kind of electromagnetic pulse that goes around them, the same way the alien ship and UFOs do. If we're going to make those leaps in logic, if we're going to assume a bunch of shit, then why not assume that these things, these things that can also shut down cars are not linked in some way? I don't think that's that far of a leap. If I'm going to leap, that's not that far of a leap to make. I've already leapt it. I'm jumping.
We've already jumped, yeah. It's do you want to fall straight down or slightly to left or right? Doesn't matter. Yeah, we're just trying to choose a...
So, are there any pictures, documentations, or videos of this shit?
I can find none of Batman or ManBat or Bat Squatch.
Yeah, don't say Batman, or else we're going to get sued.
Yeah, it's ManBat.
It's ManBat, all right?
It specifically says ManBat.
Yes.
There's two quick instances I have here that are also of note. Also in the Tacoma area, there's another family. They reported seeing a bat-like creature at night. They said it had, but the thing is, they said it had gray skin with no discernible hair. And
he had green skin.
No, gray skin.
Yeah, he did not have green skin.
He had gray skin.
Yeah, I have a...
You have a clip about that? Because I'm not...
Yep.
He has gray skin and gray skin, greenish skin. I don't care what color they are. Just
oh, damn it! That's a good one.
Just had either or. He didn't even know.
Did not know. Yeah, but this family also noted that it made a very loud, it said an unsettling sound, kind of like a cat or a monkey howl.
Well, I'm sorry. I should play my clips. I don't need to say I should. There we go. Sorry.
Now they this had also gone on during this time. There's also reports of missing pets and dead pets found. So I guess that kind of corroborates the missing pet side of it. But the more I guess curious thing that I found was in 2009. I guess this was in California. The reports of two men hiking on Mount Shasta. They said they saw a large creature fly at a ravine. They said it had a very muscular body with a wingspan. They said about 50 feet, but they were far away. And they said the creature ignored them and flew out of sight. Now, when you look at Mount Shasta and you look at Mount Rainier National Park in Washington, a lot of these areas are around people disappeared, especially around Mount Shasta.
Yeah, we talked about Mount Shasta before. We definitely talked about it in relation to missing 411. That's another thing that we probably should do if we get a database up and going, which I think I'm just going to have to manually input some of this information and location, is to track the missing 411 stuff versus these cryptid sightings versus UFO sightings.
A great map would have an overlay of the missing 401 map with known accounts of cryptid sightings that are at least somewhat credible, not like, oh, Jesus, Cletus, I saw there's a ghost, he drank my beer.
A ghost just made my bed. I didn't even have to make it when I woke up. A ghost made my bed. A ghost just cleaned my toilet. It's fantastic.
A ghost pulled me over and gave me a DUI.
I told him to fuck off. Yeah, something a little bit more credible than Cletus, but most of the accounts that you've read, a father and a son coming back from Def Leppard practice, that's a little bit more credible. When you have two people there experiencing two hikers, that's a little bit more credible. I've noticed that there's been not a lot of city sightings, not a lot of urban sightings, mostly rural. So the chances of me walking around Columbus here and seeing something like this, fairly remote. Unless you know something I don't. Is that right, Clownbaby? More rural?
Yes, as far as I've seen, it's always more in the wilderness. Yes.
Well, I like Batman. A ManBat. I like the Goat Man. I don't.
No, there's plenty more in this book.
They're all linked together in some way. And I'm not discounting these people. I actually believe what these people are saying and what they see, what they believe they say, and what they believe they see. I'm not discounting this. I'm a proponent of the eyewitness. They might not get it right 100%, but they probably see something that's probably pretty strange.
Yes, I think they saw something. I'm just not sure. I guess Mysterious Universe is good at this. Like pop culture really injects a lot of what you thought you could have seen. Some people think they saw Bigfoot because they heard a Bigfoot, or like that one guy said, it moved like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. But what really was it? What did you see?
Pop culture does influence a lot of stuff, but it also is the mind. Is what you're thinking that you will see, is that what you do wind up seeing? Does your mind manifest the visualization? So when are poltergeists and ghosts interchangeable with UFOs and demons and genies and jinns and fairies? Are they all the same fucking thing and we just perceive them and project differently? Or are they different entities and have different goals and different agendas? We don't know. Obviously, we're asking questions that cannot be fucking answered.
Yeah. But we still have Monster of the Week coming up.